This 1905 Masonic temple. Hodson was the architect. I think this is one of the first buildings he ever did. He's the same architect that did Ogden High School, the municipal building right across the street. He's considered one of the greatest Art Deco architects in the history of this country. This thing had been covered over 4 different times, plastering. This stuff was all holes right here from the ice splash down and ate up the stone. I made stone out of plaster, out of La Habra's pit, to match this thing. I've got some before and after pictures you can see on my website, stuccodamage.com. But anyway, I restored this thing, hung from a rope, suspended, hand chiseled it. Took me months. It hurt my arms. I couldn't sleep at night from the chisel. I'll get back out here at a distance where we can get a good look at it. Now here comes the police pulling somebody over right here. But anyway, we'll get across the street and get a better look at it here. Hopefully we can see it. There we go. It's a grand building. It's really something else. We replaced all that copper. Like I said, it had been plastered over 4 times. I think probably once in maybe the 30s. You know, and then subsequent. I know one time it had been done by Holland Tinser, because I recognized their material. I think it had been done in the 70s. And then I watched them redo it. They put synthetic junk over the top and just smeared it with their hand. So-called synthetic plaster. About 15 years ago, because I bid it the first time. This building had arched frescoes in it, in the ceiling of it. It was a grand thing, and some moron drywaller with pure ignorance tore them out. I'm sure it was a marquee artist. We're talking Ogden, Utah, 1905, one of the wealthiest cities in America. Mariner Eccles' office was in this building. Anyway, I hand chiseled all 4 layers off, and then there was a lot of pity and holes. You can see that's probably why they originally did it. Well, I mixed up, I used that La Habra in California's pit, and I matched the stone. I played with it, played with it, played with it until I got my plaster to match the sandstone. Believe it or not, there's pieces of this that had pits in it that are missing sandstone, you know, a foot deep. Now, it hasn't been plastered over. This is the original. Now, some of it I've had to bleed in and match, and we tore the copper off. That's original copper roofing on it. Again, this is 2550 Washington Boulevard, Ogden, Utah. I think this is probably one of the last Victorian buildings in Ogden. They had all kinds of grand structures. They've all been tore down. I do a lot of work in this city. I've identified as the 2nd oldest building standing that has any substance to it all. There's one on 25th Street, the Helen, I believe, is older. But anyway, again, 1905 Masonic Temple, Hodson the architect. Right across the street is the Historical Society for our area. They didn't even have a clue what it was. I hate to say it, but they're morons. You can still see the Masonic symbol. I worked off a photograph we found on the United States Historical Site from 1917. It was a World War I parade. It was taken right across the street. What a grand picture. But anyway, we've matched this thing exactly. It really turned out to be something. It's a grand building. It's huge.